Buying a house can feel overwhelming if you don't have the right answers to your burning questions. Well, in today's video, we're going to talk about 4 regrets that I have that I'm going to talk about when we bought our first house, as well as answer some questions and emails that are all along the same line that we've gotten from you. And in return for this video, all I ask is that if you like what you're hearing or seeing, give it a like, even give it a comment, and even subscribe if you want to, because it does really help our channel out. With all the questions that we always get and continue to get about the market, what is happening, sometimes we just can't answer all of them in our videos. But what we can do is we do reply, we do see you, we hear you, and we get back to you. And in today's video, we also have 4 questions that are fantastic ones that are going to help you in this market, a seller's market, when you're trying to buy your home. When Rebecca and I were first married, we were living in a condo that she had purchased, and we weren't agents, we weren't in real estate, we didn't know what we were doing at all at the time when we got married and when this condo was purchased. Her dad had found a name in a paper and gave it to us and said, go call this guy and he's gonna help you figure it out. Well, we talked to Earl. That's not his name. We're calling him Earl. Earl didn't really help us that much. He helped us find a place, but that was almost it. There wasn't a referral. We didn't know anyone that knew him. And it was straight ad. We just found an ad and we went to Earl, and Earl showed us some condos. At first, it really seemed like he was helpful because he was showing us around, giving us some insights of different areas, giving a little bit of market info, but not a ton, just enough for us to feel like we were making a good decision. When I look backwards on that experience, I recall that he just was not very proactive in actually helping us think 4 or 5 steps ahead. What is an exit strategy? What can we do in the future? It really was all about the purchase. So it really felt like, now looking backwards, that he was just in it to get a sale and move on. And let me tell you, move on did he ever, because when it came to possession day, we actually tried to find him because, well, frankly, it was our condo and we wanted to get the keys. And Earl could not be found. We'd had no idea where Earl was. His cell phone went to voicemail. Somehow, I don't even know how we did it, but we ended up finding his wife at home. And she's like, oh, he's out of town. And needless to say, we figured it out. It was a lot of work, but we got the key and we got the condo. To say the least, we really weren't that impressed. We were really excited. We overlooked all of the obstacles that we had to overcome to get this place because of Earl. But looking backwards, not really impressed with the whole process. So here are 4 regrets that we had when buying our first property. Our first regret that we made was not seeking out multiple sources of information. What I mean by that is we just kind of trusted the first source that came our way. We didn't really dig deep. We didn't try to look online. We didn't look for videos. We didn't look online. We didn't try to ask for friends. We basically took, essentially an ad from the paper that was given to us by Rebecca's dad. And at the end of the day, it was an unreliable source that nobody knew, nobody liked him, and to be honest, we didn't know anyone that trusted him. Not having anyone that knew Earl or us have built a relationship and knowing what he was good at and what he wasn't good at, and just having that resource, that history, right? Because you gotta know someone, you gotta like them, and then you're gonna trust them. Well, we just jumped straight to trust. We didn't know if we knew him or liked him. And at the end of the day, we figured it out, but it really wasn't the best experience. And actually, that probably is one of the reasons why we got into real estate at the beginning. The second regret that we had was not trying to understand the real estate market at the time. It doesn't matter how old, how young, how new, how many homes you have bought. It doesn't matter. You need to really dig in, understand the real estate market. And Earl really didn't give us any tidbits, any information, any help when it came to what the market was doing. At the end of the day, he really was taking us out, looking at maybe 5-10 different places and saying, which one do you want? We're like, we really like that one. And he's like, great, let's write an offer on it. And that was the experience. What we do here at Chamberlain Real Estate Group is different. We actually have a monthly market report that you can download, and I'll put the link in the description there. But go ahead and download that because it has a ton of information, and that link is updated every single month. So no matter what video you watch in the future, you can always find that market update video, and it is giving you the current month's market info. And we do that very, very intentionally. We want to equip you. We want to sit beside you and be basically your partner when it comes to buying and selling homes in Calgary or Southern Alberta, right? And if we are able to do that, then we're doing our job. We want to give you information, help you make informed decisions, and then be able to show you a path of how to do that. And that's definitely not what Earl did. The third regret is actually not discussing true ownership costs. I don't remember Earl once going through any numbers with us in terms of like, here's what it could actually cost you to live in this property. Now, at the time, Rebecca and I together, when we were first married, we were only bringing in maybe $2,200, $2,400 a month combined, right? You were newly married, not like really established in anything. And we were young. I think we were 23, 24. So you're just really making what you can. And we bought a condo. And if I remember back correctly, we had about, when all was said and done, it was around $1,200, maybe $1,300 a month that we actually had to spend towards this condo. That literally only gave us some months $800,000 a month to live on. And I remember in those first years that there were months where we were just really unsure if we'd actually be able to pay the mortgage. And I really wish that we have had conversations about how to calculate the true costs of living and owning that property. But regret number 4 is us not working with a reliable, trusted agent or team that's someone new. It's important to find someone that you trust, that somebody may have trusted before you, or like this through video, you've built a relationship with me and our team and you want to work with us. You need to work with someone that you really, really trust. They need to have knowledge. They need to have understanding. They need to have some clout. They need to be able to, when they're calling the other agent about an offer, that people know who they are and they're able to kind of help you get the home that you want to get. And there's multiple ways to do that. And by having someone who kind of has some, say or sway or pull or whatever it is in the city is really, really important. I want to quickly share with you that one of the free guides that we have in the description is actually questions to ask agents when it comes time for you to interview multiple agents. So go download that as well, because there's a great set of questions there that are going to help give you some great insights when you're actually interviewing agents. So like I said before, we have had so many questions. We've had so many people email us, comment, DM us on Instagram or Facebook, whatever it is. We pulled out 4 questions, 4 really good questions that have come up lately that are really going to help you understand this current market that we're in. And the first question that we have is actually, what are the advantages and disadvantages of buying a house in a seller's market? Well, there actually are some advantages and there are some disadvantages if you don't believe me. Well, I'm going to tell you. Disadvantages. Let's start there, because it's kind of the elephant in the room. We all know what they are. You're competing. There's a lot of other buyers who are buying in this market, and there's only a few homes for sale. Hence why it's called a seller's market. They have the advantage. So you might be buying in this market feeling like there's no advantage. There's nothing that's good about it, and you're just frustrated. And I get it. I have bought properties in a seller's market, and actually the last one we did buy was in a seller's market, and it was very frustrating, very like a huge emotional roller coaster ride, right? But here are a few of the advantages that you might not have thought of when you're buying in a seller's market. I think that the biggest advantage when you're buying in this type of market is when it's a seller's market, what do prices usually do? They go up, right? Because there is a lack of supply and a great amount of demand. Very, very simple economic formulas that are out there that happen and are real. And so as prices are increasing, this is a good thing. You need to have a really good strategy to be able to find something quickly, be able to tie it up, and be able to move on. And why I say that is because if you can do that, then you are going to be able to actually ride the wave of increasing equity. Now, not every market is doing this in the country right now. Some are going down, some are going up. But right now in Calgary specifically, we are on a massive upward swing. And there's a lot of momentum moving forward. This last month, in April of 2023, we actually set a record benchmark price of $550,800. And I do believe that we could end up seeing another $50,000 come to the table for the benchmark price, and we perhaps could break 600,000 this year. What I'm trying to say is an advantage of this market is that the market is increasing, and you're buying into a strong market. And there's a lot of activity, a lot of good things that are happening here. So don't be afraid of pulling the trigger on the right house. That's all I'm saying. So I feel like that's an advantage. If you disagree, comment. I want to hear it. Let's have safe conversations, polite conversations, but let me know your thoughts. So the second question that we've gotten is, how can you estimate the cost of owning a home, including mortgage, payments, property taxes, maintenance, all those things included? What is a quick way to do that, or a formula to do that? Well, Earl, you didn't help me with this, but I'm going to help everybody else. So here we go. What you want to do is ask your agent on our team that you're working with to send you past sales, maybe 30, 60 days of stuff that's very similar to what you are planning on buying. From there, you are going to be able to see all of the property taxes, if there's condo fees involved, because you might be buying a condo, any of those type of yearly or monthly reoccurring expenses. So take those, calculate those, put them aside. The one thing you want to look at is in your condo fees. Do the condo fees, do they include any utilities? So any utilities like your electricity, heat, water, anything like that, is that included in the condo fees, or are they not? Because the second part of this step is kind of giving a rough number for what that cost could be for utilities. I've never seen bills on a monthly basis on a house be above $600-800 a month on the coldest of coldest, right? Of months, right? And so I would be safe to say that if you want to plan somewhere between $400 to $500 a month for utilities, that is more than enough, like way more than enough, depending on the house that you're in. If you're in like a 3,000 square foot house, you probably want to be in that range. If you're down in the 1,200, 1,800 square foot house range, you might be more safe of doing like $350. So kind of use that range and just kind of find a number that you feel comfortable with, and use that for your utilities. Now, for properties that have condo fees, you'll have to kind of play the game a little bit of what's included and what's not included and figure out a rough number. Now, the next thing is your mortgage payment. So start figuring out, what are these properties selling for? What are they going for? And take that number and take the information of what your mortgage broker that we've connected you with, what is their information they're giving you in terms of your interest rate, your amortization. So how long is this mortgage for? Most mortgage calculators don't ask for the term, like your 5-year term, 2-year term. They don't ask for that. It's just the amortization. So put those into the calculator, and you're going to be able to come up with a rough number. The other option is you might have that number already from a mortgage broker because you've gone through the whole steps. You've given them all the information. They've given you a solid pre-approval. They've even called your employer. Hint, hint. That is something that allows you to sometimes have an unconditional, or like no finance condition, I should say, on a property in this market. So do those things. Those are really, really helpful. And that's going to give you kind of your mortgage number for that part of it all. Now, lastly is maintenance. This is kind of out there. It totally depends on the type, the age, the location, the size, the product that you buy. It's a wide range. So a formula that actually Rebecca and I have personally used in our homes over the years is we actually take about 1% to 2% of what the current value of the home is, and we plan on putting it towards fixing things. So this is like proactive improvements and proactive fixing. So if I know that the roof is going to go and we got about 5 years left, well, I'm going to start saving for that and putting that aside. And that could be part of your 1% to 2%. If you have an unfinished basement and you want to start working towards finishing that basement, you might start doing it room by room or something like that. And so you could start taking 1-2% of the value, saving it and investing it into your property to increase its future value or proactively do some really good maintenance on it. So just think of that and think of whatever that property value is. If it's 600,000, that is the value of what you're looking at, then take about like 1% would be 6 grand, 2%, 12 grand. And the reason I say this is a lot of people, when we've gone to sell their homes, haven't done anything. And they've lived in it for, let's say, 10 years. And they haven't done anything. And there's so much wrong. And there's so many things that they could have just slowly, proactively taken care of. And it would have added, oh gosh, way more than what they put into it, because the value is just so much lower. And people want to not buy your problems. They're willing to pay more if they don't have to buy your problem. And that's kind of what this is all about. So that's the last number in your calculation. So take all of those numbers, your property tax, your condo fees, your mortgage amount, your maintenance fees, and anything else we talked about. And that is roughly what it is going to cost you, maybe per month or per year. But I hope that helps. Now, the third question that we've got is, how important is location when it comes to buying in a seller's market when you're trying to figure out that property? So location is uber important. It's one of those things you can't change. Everything else, your flooring, your walls, I mean, heck, you could demolish the property and build something new on it, but that lot is going to be that lot, and you can't change where that lot is or what's around it. And sometimes you don't have control of what happens around that lot, so you need to make sure you're buying in an area that changes may not happen. Does that make sense? So if you are in this market and you're just getting a house, okay, the one thing that you should do, and what I mean by just getting a house, is there are a lot of people who are just throwing bids out, trying to get a house so that they can enjoy the upward swings of the market, right? And I totally understand. You might not be buying your forever home. You might be buying your 2, 3, 4-year home. The one thing you have to make sure that you are happy with that has a good resale value is the location. So I know a lot of people who are just buying homes because they want to basically jump on this upward momentum of equity, right? And when equity is going up, just to have something in the market is a good thing. And so I know you may not be choosing your forever home right now, and you might just be choosing a home that you're going to be living in for the next 2 to 3 years, or maybe 4 or 5 years, and it's not this 10-year house. And if that's the case, the one thing you do have to really focus on is location, because location is the thing you can't change, right? You can't change what's going on around you. So find something that is in a great place that you know is going to have good resale value. That's number one. So is location important? Absolutely. 100%. It's better to wait for a better location than it is to wait for a prettier house. So our final question is, how do you negotiate the best price possible in a seller's market? Well, unfortunately, there's not a lot of negotiations that happen, but there is this strategy that we use a lot when you're working with our team. So here's what this strategy is. What you need to do is actually see homes. So if something comes up that seems like it's a good opportunity, or it's something that could be good for you, go see it. The quicker you see it, the better. Don't wait 3-4 days, because it's going to be gone if it's a good property. Don't go see that home and planning on buying it. Go see that home and just get a feel for it. You're doing research at this point. Now, when you're doing research, you obviously just fall in love with this thing and just like, this is the one, well then pull the trigger. I'm not saying don't pull the trigger because you're doing research, pull the trigger. But get in there quick, time is of the essence, and being sometimes the first people in to see a property can be a huge advantage if that home is the right one. When you're in that home, we're gonna be able to give you a rough estimate of what that home is gonna sell for in the market, potentially how many offers could come in, or if any offers are coming in at the price that it's listed at, we're gonna be able to do that for you. One of the things that I really wanna caution you on is to not just throw an offer into the market just to try, right? Let's just see if we can get this house. You're just shooting yourself in the foot. And here's why, is if you write an offer and there's 7 other offers, and someone who's the one that really wants to get it, you're just trying to get the offer and you're way down here, and this one actually goes, man, there's more offers, I'm gonna up my price. Now it sells for this, where it could have sold for this. You following me here? Now it's selling for this. What's going to happen to the next home that you look at that you actually want to buy instead of just trying? Where's its price going to be? You can't see my face here, but you know what I'm saying? It's pushing values up when you just try. Don't just try. When you're writing an offer, write to win. Like that, I think it's really, really important because you need to go in and just plan on winning. And I know you can plan on it and you don't win. I get it. I understand it. There's a lot of factors out there that happen. But if you're the first one in, you know what you're looking for, you have a good understanding of the market, you know what your costs are, and you know what to expect in an offer situation, and you know what you're able to pay, then at the end of the day, you write an offer, you make it a short, leave it open really, really short, make it full list price or even more, because it's better to pay full list price today, or maybe a little bit over full list price today, than 5 to 7% more tomorrow when there's 5, 10, 15, 20 other offers. Am I right? So if you have found this video helpful and you like the content and all that's here, you're gonna like this video too. Pros and cons of why you should buy a detached home. We'll see you over there, and feel free to subscribe. If this stuff is good, you like it, we'd love to share it with you more. So we'll see you on the next video.